Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question that's not just about technology, but about humanity, about trust, about life and death. Will AI replace doctors? We are living in a time of historic transformation. Every day, breakthroughs in artificial intelligence are rewriting the rules of what's possible. Machines are diagnosing diseases faster, reading X-rays more accurately, and even predicting health conditions before symptoms appear. It's mind-blowing, but with every leap forward, a question echoes louder. Will these machines, these cold, calculating systems replace the warm, beating heart of a doctor? The one who looks you in the eye, who holds your hand, who listens not just with ears, but with empathy. Let me tell you something. We are not just witnessing the rise of artificial intelligence. We are facing the challenge of redefining what it means to be human. You see, when we think of AI, we think of efficiency. We think of speed, we think of perfection. A robot doesn't get tired, doesn't forget, doesn't get distracted by emotions, and in the world of medicine, that sounds like a dream. No errors, no misdiagnoses, no burnout. But let me remind you, medicine is not just a science, it's also an art. A doctor is not just a walking encyclopedia of diseases and treatments. A doctor is a guide through our darkest hours. When your child has a fever of 104, when your mother is struggling to breathe, when you're sitting in that sterile room waiting for the test results that could change everything, it's not a machine you want by your side. It's a human being, because healing is not just about prescriptions and procedures, it's about connection. It's about compassion, and no algorithm, no matter how brilliant, can replicate the power of a caring voice saying, "I'm here with you." Now, I'm not saying AI doesn't have a place. Oh, it absolutely does. AI is not the enemy. It's a tool, a phenomenal, revolutionary tool. But tools don't replace people. Tools empower people. Scalpel didn't replace the surgeon. The MRI didn't replace the radiologist. And AI will not replace the doctor, but listen closely, doctors who embrace AI. They will replace those who don't. Let that sink in. Because this isn't about choosing between humans and machines, it's about creating a partnership. Imagine a world where a doctor has a second brain, an AI assistant that never sleeps, that processes millions of case studies in seconds, that alerts them before a patient even becomes critically ill. That's not science fiction, that's happening now, but the doctor, the human, remains at the center, because only a human can sit with a grieving father and give him strength. Only a human can understand a patient who's afraid to say what's really wrong. Only a human can read not just the chart, but the person. And here's the truth. AI doesn't feel. AI doesn't love. AI doesn't believe in you when you've given up on yourself. That's the power of the human spirit, and it's irreplaceable. So the question isn't, will AI replace doctors? The real question is, will doctors evolve with AI or resist and get left behind? Because change is inevitable, the future will not wait. The medical field is being rewritten in real time. And if you're in this room thinking, that's scary, I get it, uncertainty is uncomfortable, but let me tell you, fear is just a signal. It's a call to grow. Every time humanity has faced disruption, there have been two paths: resist and decay, or adapt and rise. This is a moment for doctors to rise, to not just be healers but pioneers, to lead this revolution with wisdom, with integrity, with heart. And for the young people dreaming of medicine, your future is not being stolen by AI. It's being supercharged by it. Your stethoscope will hang beside a screen that can detect disease earlier than ever before. Your touch will still matter. Your words will still matter. You will still matter even more than before. So don't fear the machine. Learn it, master it, collaborate with it, because when human empathy meets artificial intelligence, we unlock something we've never seen before: a medical world that is faster, smarter, more accurate, and still deeply human. The future doctor is not either man or machine. It is both. And I believe with everything in me that the doctors of tomorrow, the ones who choose to lead, to innovate, to serve, will not be replaced. They will be unstoppable. So let's not ask again, will AI replace doctors? Let's ask, What kind of doctor do we choose to become? One who clings to the past, or one who shapes the future? The answer is in your hands. AI won't replace doctors, but doctors who use AI will replace those who don't. This single line carries the weight of an entire future. We are living in a time when artificial intelligence is evolving at a breathtaking pace. Machines are learning faster, processing more data than ever, and offering insights that once took teams of specialists weeks to discover. In healthcare, AI is analyzing medical records, identifying patterns, predicting patient outcomes, and even suggesting treatments based on massive databases of medical knowledge. But here's the reality. AI by itself is just a tool, a powerful one, but it's still just a tool. It cannot listen with empathy, it cannot comfort a patient, it cannot understand a family's fear when they're facing a life-threatening diagnosis. What AI can do is support, enhance, and amplify what a great doctor already brings to the table. The real threat is not that machines will replace doctors, but that some doctors will resist change, cling to outdated systems, and ignore the evolution happening right in front of them. Medicine has never been static. From the discovery of antibiotics to the invention of MRI machines, every advancement has changed how doctors practice. AI is just the next phase of this transformation, and those who learn to work with it, who see it not as competition but as collaboration, will lead the future of healthcare. Imagine a doctor with access to an AI system that can scan through thousands of case studies, cross-check symptoms, genetic markers, medical history, and lifestyle patterns, all in seconds. Now, pair that information with the doctor's clinical judgment, their ability to ask the right questions, their experience, and their emotional intelligence. That's not replacement, that's evolution. Doctors who embrace AI will become faster, more accurate, and more effective. They will be able to make decisions not only based on their own knowledge, but on a vast network of global intelligence. They will reduce errors, catch diseases earlier, and tailor treatments more precisely to each individual patient. These doctors will not lose their value will grow, because the one thing AI can't offer is human connection. It cannot form trust. It cannot inspire confidence with a reassuring voice or a gentle presence. That remains uniquely human, but here's the challenge: the shift won't be automatic. It will require humility. It will demand curiosity. It will test whether doctors are willing to grow, to learn, and to reimagine their role. Those who dismiss AI as a threat, who reject it out of fear or arrogance, will find themselves falling behind. Not because they aren't good doctors, but because the world will no longer wait. Patients will seek care that is faster, more predictive, more accurate, and more personalized. And that care will come from doctors who have partnered with AI, not fought against it. This isn't about choosing between man and machine. It's about blending the best of both worlds. It's about using technology to empower humanity, not erase it. The doctors who understand this, who take the time to learn, to adapt, and to lead, will not just survive in the age of AI, they will thrive. They will be the pioneers of a new kind of medicine, one that is driven by data but guided by heart. Medicine is not just a science, it's an art rooted in empathy. At its core, medicine is about people, not just procedures. While science gives us the tools, the knowledge, and the technology to diagnose and treat diseases, it is empathy that transforms a treatment into healing. Empathy is what allows a doctor to not only understand what a patient is going through, but to truly feel it, to connect with them beyond the charts and symptoms. When someone walks into a clinic, they're not just bringing a body that needs fixing. They're bringing fear, uncertainty, pain, and hope. A doctor who can see that, who can feel that, is practicing the art of medicine. Science can tell you the stages of cancer, the best pharmaceutical regimen, or the expected outcome of a surgery. But it's the art of medicine that helps a doctor look into the eyes of a terrified mother and say, "We're going to do everything we can." It's the way a doctor communicates difficult news with compassion, the way they sit beside a patient and explain the unknown in a way that feels safe. the way they remember that a person is more than a diagnosis. Machines can process data. They can suggest treatments based on probabilities and algorithms, but they don't understand fear. They don't recognize the subtle changes in a patient's voice when something deeper is wrong. They don't see the tears behind a brave face. Only a human can interpret the emotional weight carried in a moment of silence. Empathy in medicine doesn't just make patients feel better emotionally. It often leads to better medical outcomes. Studies have shown that when patients feel heard, they're more likely to follow treatment plans, more likely to return for follow-ups, and more likely to recover faster. Empathy builds trust, and trust is the foundation of effective care. When a patient believes their doctor truly cares, that belief can be more powerful than any prescription. And no artificial intelligence, no matter how advanced, can replicate the warmth of a caring human being. Even in diagnosis, empathy matters. A skilled doctor listens not just for symptoms, but for the story behind them. They ask questions that aren't on the standard checklist because they're tuned into the human experience, not just the medical one. A patient complaining of chronic headaches might get a list of possible causes from an AI system, but an empathetic doctor might discover that the headaches began after the loss of a loved one, or a recent trauma, or stress that the patient was too afraid to admit. That's the difference between treating an illness and treating a person. The art of medicine also involves intuition, a sense honed over years of experience, of witnessing patterns, of feeling what's not immediately obvious. It's the gut instinct that tells a doctor something isn't right, even when the numbers look normal. That instinct doesn't come from data alone. It comes from years of interacting with people, from emotional intelligence, from a deep connection to the human condition. No machine can feel its way through uncertainty like a seasoned doctor can. No algorithm can substitute for the quiet courage it takes to be present with someone in their most vulnerable moment. While AI may assist with analysis and prediction, it cannot comfort, it cannot inspire hope, and it cannot heal the human heart. Healing is not just about removing disease, it's about restoring peace, dignity, and meaning. And that is the true art of medicine. AI is a tool, not a replacement, but a revolutionary partner. In every era of human progress, tools have defined how far we could go. Fire, the wheel, electricity, the internet, each one was a tool that unlocked new levels of potential. Artificial intelligence is no different. It is not here to replace the brilliance of human minds, but to amplify it. In medicine, this tool has the power to transform how doctors diagnose, treat, and even prevent diseases. But like any powerful tool, its value depends entirely on how it's used and who is using it. It does not think, feel, or care. It calculates, analyzes, and processes. And that makes it an extraordinary assistant, not a leader. When you give a skilled professional a powerful tool, the outcome is mastery. AI can analyze thousands of medical records in seconds, detect patterns that the human eye might miss, and offer insights drawn from global data sets. It can alert a physician to early signs of disease long before symptoms appear. It can prioritize emergencies in real time, recommend the most effective drug combinations based on current research, and even assist in robotic surgeries with millimeter precision. But at the end of that process, someone still needs to decide. Someone still needs to guide the patient, answer their fears, interpret the results in context, and ensure that treatment plans align with both medical necessity and human values. Doctors who view AI as a partner are not threatened by its capabilities. Instead, they see an opportunity to focus more on the parts of care that truly require the human touch. Imagine reducing the time spent on paperwork, administrative tasks, and endless chart reviews, and using that time instead to be with patients, to listen, to educate, and to support. AI can handle the complexity of data, but it is the doctor who must handle the complexity of the person. This partnership works best when doctors remain in command using the tool, not becoming dependent on it, and certainly not fearing it. In the hands of a great doctor, AI becomes a second set of eyes, a powerful memory bank, and a tireless researcher. It doesn't replace the doctor's education, training, or experience, it enhances it. It allows for deeper insight and faster action. It helps connect the dots between genetic factors, lifestyle, medical history, and environmental influences. With this level of assistance, doctors can make more informed choices, personalize treatments, and catch problems before they escalate. This is not science fiction. It is already happening in leading hospitals and research centers around the world. The concern should not be whether AI will replace the doctor, but whether the doctor is ready to embrace this tool and rise to a new level of performance. Those who resist may find themselves overwhelmed by the speed and precision that AI brings to the field. But those who adapt will find themselves empowered. They will be able to work more efficiently, reduce burnout, and offer care that is more predictive, proactive, and precise. The tool is here. The revolution has already begun. The question is not if we will use AI, but how we will use it. The answer lies in the mindset we choose and the vision we hold for what medicine can become when human excellence and machine intelligence walk side by side. The future of healthcare is a fusion of human touch and machine intelligence. For centuries, medicine has evolved through innovation, but never before have we faced a force as transformative as artificial intelligence. This isn't just another advancement, it's a new dimension. AI can now process billions of data points in seconds, compare medical histories across global populations, detect anomalies in medical imaging with microscopic precision, and predict disease risks based on subtle patterns in genetics and lifestyle. It's powerful, it's fast, and it's changing what's possible. But all of this intelligence, all of this speed, still lacks one critical element: humanity. That's where the doctor comes in. Human touch is not just a metaphor. It's literal, it's emotional. It's the act of placing a hand on someone's shoulder and letting them know they're not alone. It's the reassuring tone of voice that breaks through panic. It's the eye contact that says, "I see you, I care." In moments of vulnerability, people don't look for perfection, they look for presence. They want to know that someone understands their pain, that someone is fighting for them, that their life is not just another line of data in a system. That emotional bond, that sacred relationship between patient and caregiver, is what gives medicine its soul. When we bring AI into this world not as a replacement, but as a partner, we create something entirely new. A hybrid model of care. Imagine a future where every diagnosis is backed by machine precision, but every interaction is delivered with human compassion. Where a cancer detection algorithm flags a risk early, but it's a caring physician who walks the patient through the next steps, calms their fears, and helps them make decisions not just based on statistics, but on their personal story. This fusion doesn't devalue the doctor. It redefines their role as the ultimate bridge between science and emotion, between logic and love. In this new model, doctors become interpreters of complex AI findings. They don't just read charts, they read people. They help patients make sense of probabilities, treatments, risks, and outcomes, all while honoring their emotions, values, and preferences. I might tell you what's likely, but it can't tell you what matters to a mother, or what a grandfather fears, or why a patient wants to fight even when the odds are slim. That's where human judgment becomes irreplaceable. That's where wisdom enters the room. The most powerful healthcare systems of the future will not be built on data alone. They will be built on trust, guided by human presence, and supercharged by technology. In this fusion, every party has a role. AI delivers insight, humans deliver care, AI handles the scale, humans handle the soul. When these two forces operate in harmony, the results are astonishing. Diseases get detected sooner. Treatments become more personalized, patients feel more supported, outcomes improve not just because the data was right, but because the care felt right. The next generation of doctors must not fear this fusion, they must be trained for it. They must learn how to collaborate with intelligent systems without losing their own humanity. They must lead with empathy, but think with the help of powerful algorithms. They must evolve into clinicians who are both emotionally intelligent and technologically fluent. It's no longer about choosing between machines and people. It's about recognizing that the highest standard of care will come from the combination of both. Healing isn't just in day, it's in connection, compassion, and presence. While artificial intelligence may transform how quickly we gather information, how accurately we detect diseases, and how efficiently we deliver treatments, the true act of healing reaches far beyond charts and algorithms. Healing begins when a patient feels seen, heard, and understood. It begins in the quiet moments, a pause before delivering difficult news, a soft reassurance when fear fills the room, a gentle acknowledgement that what a person is going through isn't just medical, it's deeply human. No matter how advanced machines become, they cannot replicate the warmth of genuine human care. A scan might show a tumor, an algorithm might calculate survival rates, but it takes human connection to sit with someone in that moment, to give them the strength to keep going, to believe in something beyond statistics. People don't heal just because a medicine works. They heal because they feel safe, because they feel supported, because they feel like someone is walking through it with them. That emotional safety is powerful. It affects the immune system, stress levels, decision-making, and even the will to live, and it can't be programmed. It comes from the presence of another human being who genuinely cares. When we reduce medicine to data alone, we risk forgetting that every number represents a life. Behind every blood pressure reading, every blood test, every scan, is a person with dreams, fears, family, and history. Healing occurs not only in hospitals and clinics, but in relationships built on empathy, trust, and communication. These are the elements that no machine, no matter how intelligent, can fully understand or deliver. A computer may calculate faster than any human, but it will never know what it means to sit with a child who's scared or comfort a spouse facing loss. Compassion is what makes medicine more than mechanics. It's what allows a doctor to go the extra mile, to ask one more question, to listen more deeply. It's what inspires a nurse to check in after hours, or a therapist to patiently sit through silence until the patient is ready to speak. These moments of presence are where the deepest healing often begins, not in the treatment plan, but in the simple feeling of not being alone. People don't always remember the exact medical terms used or the full details of a procedure, but they never forget how a caregiver made them feel. Presence is about more than just physical proximity. It's about attention, about focus, about being fully there. In today's fast-paced medical systems, this is becoming increasingly rare and increasingly valuable. When a doctor takes a moment to look up from the screen, to make eye contact, to ask how a patient is truly doing, it creates